that awkward minute.
Yeah.
Whoa, look at that. How cool is that?
Ooh, that's nice.
Yes or no?
Oh, look at that.
That's cute. Yeah, this is always the quiet, awkward part. Do you think there's the same amount of watchers that there is during the day than in the evening, or?
I think so. I mean, everybody's at home. If you're not watching, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay, Croucher, yes. Can you please invite me?
It's hot. I got a fan right here to save me because I get hot flashes.
There's no insulation.
And we're having a fucking popsicle. Our house is old, so our house is very hot. But I can't complain, but yeah, it's full hot.
It's fucking hot. What did you say how hot it is today?
95 where we are.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're in Montebello, which is on the eastern side of LA. Inland. So it gets, like, I mean, it's our second summer, so the experience is hot. And we really have to invest in air conditioning.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Alright.
So, hi, how are you? Welcome.
What up?
So, it's Frijol Friday again.
Why do you call that?
Because this artist, Lalo Caras, calls it Frijol Friday.
Oh, okay.
And that's how
I really thought it had something to do with our race or something.
Racist. And I think I've been using it as a measurement of time.
Oh, okay.
Because it just feels like Frijol Friday comes like so fast right now. It just feels like time's been fucking coming quick. But yeah, so happy Frijol Friday for everyone out there.
Oh, I am right.
Are you?
I'm sweating.
So, question always how we started off. What's happening? How are you guys doing?
Too fast. That is accurate.
How's it happening? We are in day 43. Yeah, day 43 here in LA. Across the country, I know some states are like letting go, easing up, opening up. People are gonna get haircuts, which again baffles me on my end. But so let us know how you guys are doing wherever you're at.
If you have a popsicle, grab yourself a popsicle. Let's enjoy a cold treat.
How was your week?
I mean, good. I'm on a roll. I feel guilty sometimes saying like how good I'm doing because I know that there's people struggling, but
I can't play ball.
he has completely taken over my duties, and so that was our child.
Okay, keep talking. I'll be
I
back.
hate when I have to talk to myself.
No, you're not.
I feel like I am.
Yeah.
So he's taking over my duties, and so I legit focus on myself a lot more. So I'm able to shower. And today, ironically, he was helping with homework, and he kept trying to jump into the shower after his workout, and the girls kept needing him because he's taking over homework. And so I told them, like, Mom, like that's what it is. Like, you're trying to get into the shower, and there's just no time to take a shower. So I don't have that life anymore because he's taken over. So, I mean, I'm having a great week.
Need you to repeat everything you said.
No, I don't.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Whenever we ask these questions, it's always just spontaneous. And again, it's just interaction with you guys. So
How was your week?
my week, I think more as time has progressed, I think for me mentally, I've struggled a little more.
Now?
Yeah. I think
Oh, yay.
now for me it goes into like seeing states doing the stay at home and like easing up and opening up. My thought process is like, okay, so like now we weren't here, now we're like here, so before I know it I'm gonna be on the other end.
Yeah.
And my thought process starts going and like, okay, when we start opening, you know, like I'm not saying it's tomorrow. Here in LA, we're set till May 15th, so it's still 3 weeks. But again, Frijol Friday, those 3 weeks are like this. You know, do you remember when we first went into quarantine and we read that article on like 55 days? We're 12 days away from there. You know what I mean? Like,
he was in the middle of his quarantine. He wasn't even towards the end.
I was at the beginning. Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
He wrote that at day 55, and I think they stopped at day 76. So I think this week it's been that I had a call, and it caught me off guard when that conversation came up with one of like the business partners, and it was that aspect of like, okay, now I have to start thinking about this, and I don't think of just in the work aspect, like public transportation. You know, already I
was waiting for that to happen.
Public transportation, it's already trained me mentally to be better cared of like my hygiene and not touching stuff and understanding like I'm on the train and it's dirty. But now at work, you know, like once we open, what are we doing? You know, like dressing room, social distancing, wearing masks, allowing only a certain amount of people, even if we're already at that point. And then I think of like what you just mentioned, you know, like time. You know, like I'm grateful for time now that I've been able to spend with them, and like school, and like being able to help with that, being able to take over a lot of the duties here at home, which I enjoy. I don't complain. I have fun. You know, I understand like it's responsibility. So all that's been going in my head. It's like, that's honestly like, I think been the struggle this week. Like I've been consistent. Like I actually started working out, even just random, just so I move. Angel, how do you feel working from home has affected you compared to work from the store does? It helps you realize what Cindy juggles work from home. I mean, that's something that I've always understood. I know what she does. I've never like questioned it, or it's never been that. I think for me it just shows, you know, I can do it. It's something we have. That's where the balance comes in, and that's where the team comes in. That I know she can take the 50-50 and I can take the 50-50. You know, if it was on the other end where...
But do you see the struggle, homie?
I don't. Because I can handle it.
And that's
the hard part for me.
That's the hard part, because...
It doesn't affect me.
As a mom, there's more to it. There's hormones with being a woman. There's starting your period. There's, you know, being concerned with their weird pap smear. You know, there's a whole bunch of other insecurities, a whole bunch of other shit that we have to deal with on top of being a mom. And I feel like, yeah, you're handling it and everything, but I just feel like you're coasting through. Like, it's not hard and it's good for you and all, and like,
but see,
it's hard for females.
That's on my end. I've never belittled it. You know, I've never said it's not hard.
But you coasting through it is belittling it. You being like, well, it's not hard for me.
I'm saying it's not hard in my sense. I don't struggle. But again, you're not me, and this other person's not me. And there's going to be dads out there that aren't going to be able to handle it. And it's not belittling them. It's just that's not their prerogative. Like, that's not how they handle things. And it's just, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things we've talked about in my sense, in my personality, is the adaptability. Like, I can adapt. And
yeah, but you could also admit that your adapting easy can get under people's skin.
Yeah. And that's been a proven fact. A lot of people don't fucking like me because...
Don't talk with your mouth.
Because shit doesn't fucking faze me. And that bothers people. And it's okay, again. That's me.
There's a buttload of questions
I know.
that we're just missing right now.
But that's where I've been. And it's been that thought process all week. The working out has helped. It slows my mind down a little bit. Today, what did I tell you? I was all ready to quit today.
Oh yeah, I was like, dude, day 4, really?
I was like, I'm already done. I didn't want to do it, but I was like, fuck it, I need to. Hold on, I'm gonna go on the live so I can see the questions. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to catch up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be over here. Listo.
Yeah. Alright, go up.
No, that was this
What is
one.
that one? I feel guilty saying that I'm enjoying this time at home. My daughter is only 8 months and I had to go back to work when she was 4 months. So I feel like I got a little bit of extended maternity leave, but I feel like I can't tell people that I'm happy to be at home and still getting paid.
That's how I feel.
But see, I think that's what you just said. That some people aren't going to appreciate how I can adapt. People don't like that. And that's what I'm telling you. Like, don't feel guilty. Fuck it. Like, that's on them. You can't control, you can't do what, your happiness and your enjoyment and your joy, your adaptability, whatever, you can't gauge it by someone else. You know, like, you have to focus on yourself. And right now, that's making you happy, and you're 100% right. Like, you got 4 extra months, and you're getting paid for it. So be grateful. You know, unfortunately, people that are going to hate are going to hate. You want to go again?
Nah, that's cool.
So, what are your thoughts?
I don't want to talk about haters.
No, but I'm saying, like, unfortunately, people do feel that. You know, like...
I mean, but that's like every day, you know what I mean? Like, you get a new car, there's going to be someone that's going to be like, yo, I don't have a new car. And then hate on you for it, you know? And that's before there was a pandemic. So, like, now that most people are struggling, the ones that aren't struggling are being hated on. You know, sometimes it could be compared to the same way I feel about celebrities.
Yeah.
You know, like, it could be a little hate that I feel that, like, you know, these celebrities aren't struggling like most people are struggling. So, like, I just think it's something that's gonna, even during a pandemic, they're gonna be haters, you know?
Yeah, but I think what you mentioned in that aspect of the hating,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a difference. Like, for example, the person that said about you being at home and getting paid,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure, or I mean, I'm assuming, let's assume, that you feel that way because you've had somebody say something to you. Like, oh, well, you don't understand. Oh, well, you know, like, you're not struggling.
I mean, it usually comes with backhanded compliments.
Yes.
That's how I get them. You know, I always get like, oh, you're so lucky and things like that. And those are backhanded compliments.
But yes.
Yeah.
But see, what I'm saying with you and like celebrities is like you don't go off and just post about fucking whoever, blah blah blah. No, post about somebody and just be like, fuck this person, fuck them. You mention it here because it's discussion.
I talk a lot of shit because I don't want to bring that bad juju on my feed. You know, I have a lot of shit to say, but he hears it usually. You know, I don't put it on my stories, and I don't think I would like to agree with other, because I'm sure what I feel, even the negative stuff, a lot of people would feel and agree with me, but I don't want to bond on negativity. I don't want to bond on talking shit.
That's,
you know,
100% you're right.
So that's why I don't post how I feel about certain things on my stories and my Instagram.
I think that thought process of like bond on negativity, and that's why like on my end, it's sometimes like with the president and everything that's going on, like I post stuff, but sometimes like I tell you, I'm like, oh, I was going to post all this, and then I held back because I know the hate's there, I know the anger is there. Why am I going to continue it?
Yeah.
Like, we all know he's an idiot.
And then you're just gonna, all of the only conversation in your story for the rest of the day is just you guys being angry at this individual. Like, I don't like bringing that to my stories.
Yeah.
Granted, I do sometimes, I'll bitch about certain things, you know, mommyhood and things like that, and that's what women agree on and shit. But like political stuff, celebrities, and how I feel with all of that, like, you can't, because there's always going to be a half amount of people that love this person and the other half that agree with you. So you're always going to be like, oh, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, so back to the situation of your maternity leave and getting paid, like, yeah, enjoy it. Like, just enjoy it for you. As long as it makes you happy, fuck the world. Like, that's ultimately what it is, because the person that's going through whatever you're going through is yourself.
And I mean, we also have to start understanding that everybody's an individual in all this, and that nobody is living the same life right now. You know what I mean? Nobody is living the same life. When everybody's at work, everybody's pretty much leveled and even Steven. Everybody's doing the same amount of work unless you're not showing for blah, blah, blah. Right now, you don't know how anybody is living because we're all in this by ourselves. So we can't judge, and we can't, you know, be pissed at how this person is choosing to live quarantine and shit like that, because you have no idea.
And we've
of
like,
what's going on in there.
and I think that's one of the things I've talked about, because we have like distance learning through Levi's, and basically it's all the store managers. We go and we take 3 days a week. We take classes and stuff. It's really cool, but we get to experience the managers from across the country, even I believe Canada too, and like corporate partners and stuff. And that's, I think, one of the biggest things I've been preaching is they say, oh, I'm doing this, and then someone else, because we have breakout groups, will say, oh, well, I don't know how you guys are able to do this and this, and I'm always there like, hey, dude, like, that's them, not you. Don't worry about that, because that just adds more to the fucking shit you're already going through.
Yeah.
Those words, I don't want to bond with negativity, that is going to stick with me forever. You're a real one, Cindy. Love your energy, girl. I had to read it like that.
You either love it or you hate it, like you said.
I mean, but it's the truth. So yeah, everyone's independent. But that went off just because of how I've been feeling this week. Yeah, that's how I've been feeling this week. That's what's been in my head.
Was deep.
There's a couple of topics that people talked about that they wanted us to touch base on. I'll start off with the first one for the week that came up. It actually came up last week. And did I save it? Damn, I don't know if I saved it. Basically, it's saying how I've been able to manage with Cindy's trauma. If you guys have never heard Cindy's trauma, you could kind of do a cliff notes of it real quick.
Cliff notes of Cindy's drama. Dang.
Or trauma, not drama. Trauma, not drama.
Oh yeah, trauma. I didn't know it was gonna be all about that. Okay.
Well, that's the question. That's where the question started.
Cliff notes. The gist.
Not the gist. The gist.
Child abuse. See, I have to make sure that I'm clear on the type of child abuse, because people automatically assume when you are an adult that has had child abuse in your life that it's automatically sexual abuse, and it's not. I was not sexually abused, not that kind of child abuse. It was just legit physical, mental, emotional abuse. From the moment my mom died, probably 6 years old, up until I was 19. That's when I moved out. Or ran away.
Fortnite, so that's why they're yelling.
That's when I ran away. I actually ran away from home at 19. Yeah, and so that's a lot of years to deal with negativity and abuse from your parent. So that there's a lot of damage.
Okay, now, and I'll talk to you guys. Like right now, I know this is making her very uncomfortable, and I know by the tone of her voice, the way she's talking, I understand it and I see it.
Yeah, see?
And the only reason I brought it out is because it's one of the conversations that was brought out, and I don't know if you guys have gone through this. I think the balance here is I had a great childhood. Like, my mom busted her ass to bring me here and be successful, and I live very happy.
Ooh, I need some weed.
I had everything. And it's something that consistently gets asked, because Cindy's talked about it before. She's mentioned it, and
I just wasn't ready.
And they know in a relationship it can be really difficult.
Oh yeah.
It's
because when you're abused, when you're living any sort of trauma when you're a kid, you're statistically you're either going to grow up and become the abuser, or you're going to grow up and not become the abuser, not be a polar opposite. But that one takes a lot more work, and that's where I'm at.
And then that's that, and it's been if you follow us enough, our relationship, we talk about how much work it is. Like, it's work, it's consistent work, and I'm not infallible. Like, I have my traumas and I have my things I deal with consistently, but in that aspect, like, I know her patterns, I know her demeanors, and I know her challenges, and like how to help and push her past certain things. I personally lived through trauma, but you can choose to define you or move past it.
Right.
Honestly,
like, I just think, and as cheesy as it sounds, like, he has figured out my triggers at the same time that I figured out my triggers, because the time that I found out my triggers, I would let him know what they are so that he can look out for them. That's the weed. I'm not crying. So when I'm feeling, when there's a depressive state or something coming, he can usually feel it at the same time that I'm feeling it.
I see it.
So he stops it in its tracks. It's very hard sometimes to stop it in its tracks, but he does its part. So therefore my trauma and what I'm dealing with isn't a days long anymore. It used to be.
It used to be.
It isn't a days long anymore. It isn't a weeks long. It isn't days long. It's hours, maybe minutes now. So there's growth. There's been growth from both of us. Again, I had to discover what my triggers were.
And I know situations that I'll put her in, like because of whatever we need to be in, and I know situations that I don't. And again, we've been married 15 years, so I know like when it's her trauma trying to control the outcome, or it's really her. I've been able to pull back and understand that, and it's stuff that we talk about. In a sense of a partner, like it's a lot of patience.
Yeah.
It's a lot of communication. It's not being afraid of saying, "Hey, I'm seeing this or I'm noticing this. What are you feeling?"
But it's also from the person that is going through the trauma that you also have to
let
accept
go.
The help, and you have to be okay with letting go.
Being called out.
Yeah. And accepting your own shit and being like, fuck, I am being a dick. Or the things that I'm saying are being bad, are mean. And you have to be able to say, I'm sorry and I'm going through it, Because the me before any of this growth, dude, I'd shut it down. I'd shut down for days. I wouldn't tell anybody.
I'll give you guys a simple example, okay? In our lifetime, we've done things, and in a relationship, we've built things and started things, and there's been points, like climatic points in certain parts of it, where the reaction comes from the trauma, and now I've been able to show her, like, are you okay talking about like Zombie Girl?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, Angel, as becoming a dad and husband, did it require you to get softer as opposed to being a guy and being strong and a tough guy?
He's never been that guy.
Hold on, let's go with this.
Okay.
I'll answer that right now. So, if you've followed her for as long as you have, like, Zombie Girl went through a tough place 2013. Okay? And it's, again, I remember these dates. And Cindy was, because of her upbringing and the trauma and like the thought process that went behind it, it was easier for her to go whoop and say fuck it than to just up and say, hey, you know what? No. Okay, I'm done. Or continue to push through it. Sorry. I'm, again, because I know her and I know what was going on, it was a consistent of like communication and say, no, like, this isn't you, like, react, understand, talk about it, process it, continue it, and she's been able to continue to elevate, even though she's hit that, it's continued elevating, and now it's positive. Where, I'll give you guys the other aspect, there's been points where she's done this, and she's all into it, and she's all going, one day she'll come to me, and she'll be like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore.
Like Beachbody.
And I understand, like, I'm not going to push you.
You saw the difference between me wanting to quit Zombie Girl.
I understood it was her and not, like, the trauma and what was instilled in her head of a failure and, like, all these negative thoughts that affected her. So there's those that, again, that communication, that balance that we're able to have. To answer the question, just so we don't keep going at it because there's other topics, like, it's communication. It's being able to be vulnerable and understand and not react with the anger, because the trauma anger and anger are just a bad combination.
And then from the person that is dealing with the trauma and like trying to grow and change and better yourself, you seriously have to make sure that you're okay with showing them all your ugly parts. Like, God, You just have to make sure that you're okay with. Don't look at me. I'm gonna cry.
No.
That you're okay with him seeing or them seeing you broken and admitting that they got to you.
That you're the past.
Yeah, because a lot of the times we, as survivors, it's a front. A lot of it's a front, because you're scared of being vulnerable and being abused again.
Yeah.
So it's a front, and so when you hold up this front, you gotta make sure that with the person you want to grow old with, you gotta let that front go.
And it's not even just here. Like you guys comment and you guys say all the time, she's a badass. Like we've been watching The Walking Dead, so like I have Negan's like, you're a badass. Like in my head, like she's a badass. But in that confidence, when those points where I know she's going to be uncomfortable, it's being able to be there and be that support. Like simple examples. Because of the trauma she's had about inconvenience as a child, at a restaurant, her food could be trash, and she struggles to be able to do that. So those moments, I know it. Like I click it, and I'll be like,
and
look.
he'll take over, and that's the difference also that you have to do as the person that's with the person that's the survivor, is you're gonna have to be that 95%. And you're going to have to be okay with it. He takes over on those moments. If I have to make a phone call, he'll ask me, do you want me to do it? Or are you okay doing it? It takes that little effort to just make them feel okay of how they're feeling.
And I'm not going to tell you it's not always sunshines and rainbows. It's not always going to be like that aspect. There's going to be moments where, there has been moments where it gets angry because she understands where she's putting herself in and where that situation has put her in. So it's not a acceptance, it's a shut down, leave me alone, and no eating, no nothing. So it's that, and that's where it comes on mind, is me understanding, like, and it's hard for me, because sometimes I'm like, fuck, it's fucking me, Right. So I have to, again, this is where my end goes into it. Out. My head needs to go and say, okay, I have to understand this and understand that and understand this. And
also understand that as shitty as it may seem, us expressing ourselves as we do, even as wacky as it might seem, is because we're seriously 1000% comfortable with you. Because nobody else sees that.
What do you mean?
Nobody else sees me blow up. Nobody else sees you. I can share with you guys, and you guys can be a part of it with me. But you don't see everything. You're not behind the scenes, So you don't see my panic attacks, my insecurities when I'm feeling insecure. You know what I mean? So you seeing it is because you're special. It's because you matter.
I think.
What I mean?
But I mean, I think with your social network, I think that's something that attributes who you are. Is those moments, you've had moments that you share and you let people know, and I think that's where that connection,
Erica, like it's helped, and I didn't mean for it to help, honestly. I talk because I don't know, to me, keeping shit to yourself or being quiet, like obviously I understand the difference, if we have a goal in mind, I'm not going to share that and babble about it. But like talking about your problems and being vulnerable, like that's the only way I know how to communicate. So
you're
going to get it on social media and you're going to get it in real life. It's just who I am. So when people praise me for being honest, it's hard sometimes to accept it because I'm not trying to be honest. I'm not trying to help you through it. I'm just talking because I'm feeling it, and it just happens that a lot of people relate with me, and I got a big circle of women that feel and are connected. Like there's a tribe out there.
For the most part, social media, you share what you like, whether it's just all the good stuff or a mix of both good and the bad, but again, we will never see the 100% of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a lot. And again, that's just being honest.
You
Someone
do get a
asked.
lot, yeah.
Someone asked about like me as a parent becoming soft. I grew up very like with a lot of love, a lot of affection, a lot of tender. Like
But you grew up with females.
but my dad, and I mean you've experienced my dad. Like he wasn't part of my life for a long time, but he's still very caring, very loving. The girls, he's only seen them through FaceTime, but like he's very very loving. That's what I grew up with. So like with them, that's what they've grown up with. Like they're my little queens. That's what they are, and I care for them, and I love them, and I adore them, and I'm strict with them. But like I'll give you guys a simple example. This morning, Izzy like pouring her Tula poured milk in her cereal. Izzy came in.
Babe, you scared her.
I wanted to be serious. She did that. Like
Poor thing didn't even, her feet, like, her feet didn't even, like, she just went, wow, like.
Sorry, baby. It was Cass's. So she did that. So I was like, wait, hold on, no, come here, sit down. And I spoke to her. I'm like, look, like, I understand you're upset, but we can't react like that with emotions. All you have to say is, Dad, can I please have more cereal? Boom, boom, bam. Like, she understood it.
Also, like, I'm sorry, keep going.
No. I mean, and that's mainly, like, I think that shows a lot of care and love for her.
Well, that's breaking the cycle. You know what I mean? Like, I think us and me going through the shit that I went through growing up, I'm still growing, I'm still changing, I'm still evolving, but like us communicating and learning and me getting better with my trauma and stuff like that, like that's helped us raise them and break the cycle because we learned from it. The whole thing about like we don't communicate with our emotions. That's shit I've learned as a 30-something-year-old, and so we're teaching them right now at 8 and 9 or 9 and 10 because I don't want them to be my age and barely learning. Oh, okay, so that's not how you're supposed to react? Like it's good for them.
Yeah, and so like I don't think I've always been soft. Like I'm not this fucking tough motherfucker. Like I could be an asshole. I can be who I am. It doesn't make me weak. It's just, they're my babies. Like, they've been since day one. And we had this conversation last week about male or female. I mean, whether they were male, female, whatever, like,
I mean,
they're
I
my
just
babies.
answered her question. How are you breaking your cycle with your trauma to not become the abuser? No, the way I'm breaking it is so they learn how basic human skills. My trauma didn't allow me to share or talk about my emotions because I was abused, I was hit, I wasn't allowed to cry or things like that. And so teaching the way now I know as an adult that is wrong. The way I was raised is wrong. And communicating and being open and honest with how you're feeling with someone is the way that you thrive in a relationship in general, and at work, with your friends, at school, with your partner, like with your siblings. It's communication. It's seriously listening and not taking anything personally and being there because they're expressing themselves. And so that's what I've learned to teach the girls. That's a part of breaking the cycle because I'm not telling them what they told me. I don't even want to repeat it because I don't want to cry anymore. And so that I know them growing up and being able to say how they're feeling, that's breaking the cycle.
It's a daily battle to teach completely opposite of what you've learned.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like I tell you, like we were talking about our trauma, I have my own things that we've struggled a lot in the past. And we are in a much better position now because of the struggle of learning or teaching differently than what I've learned. So, yeah. Good job.
High five.
So that'll go into the topic. What accomplishments are you most proud of as an adult? What's an accomplishment?
Okay.
Dude.
Just one, because we could go.
Oh my God. Being a mom. Because I'm not repeating the cycle. I tell you all the time. Because sometimes he's concerned that we're going to fuck up our kids, which is a very normal emotion that a lot of parents feel, okay? I don't feel that.
There are times that I go in the room after I've done something or disciplined them,
And he
like
feels,
talk to him, and I'm like, did I fuck up?
yeah.
Like, is that something?
Listen, and I don't feel that
And
way.
it's tough. It's
I
tough.
because my childhood was so fucked, I know that everything that I'm doing, because I'm working so damn hard to be good at it, that they're not gonna grow up fucked. So I'm proud of that shit.
For me, there's a lot. There's a lot that I'm really proud of. I think in the last.
One thing. That's what you.
Yeah,
said.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of stuff, but I think in the last 2 years, one of my biggest traumas or opportunities has always been like financial. Like I was raised in a financially broken mentality, thought process, and in the last 2 years,
Excuse me.
I've been able to learn and teach, and it's been really difficult. Like there's points where there'd be money, and she, again, like, well, I know her triggers, she knew my triggers, and like anxiety was through the roof, like, and I'm not there anymore.
No.
You know, I'm understanding, and I think that's one of the accomplishments for me. I'm 37, and now getting like that financial intelligence has helped me a lot, and I've lost a lot
and what are you
because of
doing
it.
now? You're sharing that with the girls, so you're breaking
Yeah,
that cycle
at that
you
age.
were taught.
And again, like, I can't. I'm not saying like with my mom, like, it was horrible, but it wasn't an educated aspect. It wasn't like, it was just.
It's important now to teach our kids finances. I think it should be incorporated in school, because a lot of us are in our mid-30s and in fucking debt and living paycheck to paycheck with bad fucking credit. A lot of us are, because of school, because of our parents. You know,
that's not me. It's just I didn't learn.
Because your parents weren't educated, because they came from another country, and so they didn't learn, and they just lived to live, and that's what they taught you. So we need to start teaching our kids finances so that our history is not repeated.
So I think that's my accomplishment. Like being able to be where we are now in the last 2 years. That
we've grown. We've grown a lot in like the last 5.
No, well, for me personally, it's been the last 2. Like
since we moved here.
I think this move was a big kick in the ass for me. That made me realize a lot of stuff that I wasn't doing correctly.
I mean, you've been winning ever since.
So I've been really happy with that. That's an accomplishment for me.
That was a dope question.
Testing people's loyalty during a pandemic.
What, are you ready for me?
Yeah.
What
like,
about it?
I think I've seen the meme come out and saying like, oh, you know, you see your true friends when like this pandemic is happening, and basically saying like if someone's not checking on you, you're basically don't matter to them, you know. But I think the rebuttal, it's grandma, she's saying I think the rebuttal to that is again where we started our first conversation. Like everyone's handling this a lot different, and you don't know exactly what someone's going through. If this person's important to you, talk to them. You know, like ask them. I think before this aspect, I think it was a little different. I'll open up. Like we lost a lot of friends when I started Levi's. It felt like that's when it happened, and it was because time changed. And my attention, like if Justin, which is like our best friend, he always tells me this. He's like, Angel, you're at the end of the race before it's even begun. Mm-hmm. I'm able to say, hey, you know what? I'm bored of this. I'm gone. And all these people that were there and like, oh, I love this. I'm okay to step away and say, okay, you guys are good. I'm leaving. Peace. And people don't understand that of me. So I lose a lot of friendships. I think in this aspect of the pandemic, it's a little different because I also have to think. Go ahead.
No, you're
I also
talking, I'm listening to you.
I also have to think of like what that person's going through. So I have a really close friend that I care about a lot, but I've texted him once, and he hasn't texted me. But I don't think that care or that loyalty is gone. It's just honestly like times change. Right now, what we're going through. Again, you start processing all these things in your head, and you start understanding. You know what? Hey, and then I have the other. He's my brother. I have his birthdays tattooed on me, where like we don't talk in general, and then one day he'll text me or I'll text him. I know at 12:01 he's the first one that's gonna text me for my birthday, and that's fine. So I don't think you could measure anybody's loyalty. Again, is my opinion in this pandemic because relationships are just different, and then this moment is different. I don't know. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What do you think? You just let me talk.
I don't know. This topic's like, it's one of my least favorites to talk about because like again, my life had went from having like a huge social life to not having a social life at all. Like my closest friend lives in Arizona, and then my other closest friend is in Nebraska. So I don't have close friends that are like next door. So therefore, in a pandemic, I don't really have anybody to be concerned about.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is on the calls that I told you I was on, everybody's like, oh, I've been FaceTiming with these people, and I've been FaceTiming with that people, and I've been FaceTiming with people. I see, if I text you, or if I message you, you matter, you're important to me. If I don't, doesn't mean you don't, it's just, what am I going to talk to you about right now? Just not just because of the pandemic doesn't mean I just have to force this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I shared that one. Again, a lot of the stuff I share so other people can relate to it, or because I agree with it and stuff. And yeah, I think it's unfair to judge someone's loyalty to you during a pandemic. I can't relate because, the two people that I just mentioned, I do check on, and that's it. I check on you guys and stuff, but this whole close friend thing that I had, I don't have it anymore. So I really don't have anybody to worry about. The ones that I do check on, you know who you are. And I'm loyal to them regardless. So no tengo nada que decir.
Oh, okay. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Our generation's music compared to today's, a trip down memory lane.
What?
Our generation's music compared to today's music. A trip down memory lane. You could go first.
Why do you always make me go first?
I just went first.
That's just another topic that's really hard for me too because I like a lot of music, but the kind of music I like is not the trendy music. I like cumbias, and that's my first go-to forever.
I'll give you I'll do this. I'll be the devil's advocate for this. Mm-hmm. All right, you love Drake.
Yeah.
He speaks to you.
Yes.
But would you compare it to, let's say, Snoop Dogg? Like mid-90s Snoop Dogg. Who's better?
Snoop.
Like, how do you compare it?
Snoop.
Okay, but what about like right now with Drake? Like, Drake's amazing. Like, Drake speaks to you.
But the way that I also measure it is because I'm a Pisces. Music makes me feel amazing. Okay, if you're a Pisces, you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You're a fish.
Yes, and so I'm going to listen to something that's going to emotionally make me feel good. Yeah, Drake speaks to me, but he don't speak to me like Snoop.
Okay. See, like, for me, and again, like, we go into the discussion, I'm not a big Snoop fan.
I don't want to get into this discussion.
But for me, Drake, I think Drake, his music, his lyrics, like, all of it is just, I feed off of it, like, what's that Energy song? That's like my, and I don't have anything like that with Snoop Dogg. Now we go back to the 90s rappers, Tupac. Tupac spoke to me. I enjoy Tupac. You could say it. Tupac comes on. No way.
This is the part where I don't want to agree on negativity. I won't say
it. She changes it.
No.
But and that's I think where it's at. Okay, Tiger Army. Tiger Army 1, 2, 3. Then you start going into New Tiger Army, and I enjoy it. I have fucking the Tiger Bat tattooed on my stomach. They're one of my favorite bands, but it's different, you know, because they had to evolve. They got to change. I think music changes. It has to evolve and change, you know.
I think if you're allowed as a human being, because I really believe this, if you're allowed to evolve and change your way of thinking and your way of living and everything, then you're allowed to change your taste in music. And if you were once a fat fucking fan of this person or this band or whatever, and they changed and they evolved and you don't like them anymore, that's okay. You're still allowed to be a fucking fan, you know, like of their old shit. Like I love No Doubt. I love No Doubt. But ask me if I'm a Gwen Stefani fan right now. You know, so like, that's allowed.
Yeah, but I think it goes, the question was more of comparing the music, like the Snoop Dogg of the 90s to like Drake of now, you know? And I think socially, like, it was different because Snoop Dogg was talking about something that was going on in his hood at the time of that. And Drake's more about women, money, stuff like that. So I think that's where the difference goes. Now let's go back.
You relate as a millennial.
Yeah, I mean that's something you can
Bitches
be.
and money.
I totally agree.
I feel
You know what?
No Doubt and Gwen.
You know what? You're right. My old ass has evolved. I listen to country now. What the fuck happened?
And I can hate on you, sister. That's okay. You can listen to country because you've grown. That's growth.
Tupac was poverty or poetry?
I think she meant poetry.
Okay, and I agree with you. Like I think Tupac could have been something much more. You know?
I mean, I'll agree with that.
That he could have been much more.
Oh yeah, like he could.
All right, so
yeah. Chale.
what?
Next question.
What was your first like CD you purchased?
Green Day.
Which one?
Was it the first one with Basket Case?
No, she meant poverty.
Tupac was Poverty?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because he was Poe. All right.
He was Poe.
You said Green Day, Dookie.
Yes, ese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was
yours?
Blur. You remember that song 2? Though I'm not gonna.
You know how I know you're gay?
it was Blur, then Marilyn Manson, the Antichrist album, then Pennywise that came in,
Brandy.
then Bad Religion, and that just spiraled.
Shakira.
I think Tiger Army didn't come in till late, and then I fell in love with Tiger
Papa
Army.
Roach.
Papa Roach.
Oh my god, Papa
Limp
Roach always reminds me
Bizkit.
of my brother.
Man. Limp Bizkit. Alright, so I'll tell you guys a story. One of my best friends, Burpee, he was a huge Limp Bizkit fan. And one day, we got like to the point, because I loved Eminem, and I was like, oh, Eminem's talking shit about Fred Durst, and you got to the point where we were about to fucking fight. Because he was like, fuck you, I love Fred Durst. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Were you guys intoxicated?
No, we were sober.
He was really that mad sober?
That angry. Yeah, don't fuck with Fred
That
Durst.
is crazy.
And Burpee. Alright, let's go to this last one. Because we're about to go. When was the toughest times for you guys as parents? I'll go first.
Yeah, you go
Whenever the girls have been hurt. When Tula got ran over, when Izzy broke her collarbone, when they've been like
Tula busted her
sick.
leg the other day.
Yes, like they had
hammock.
swings. Yeah, did you post about
I
it?
posted the hammock. I was all brilliant.
Yeah, I guess she fell. She was swinging. She flipped. She fell, knee straight, and it was just blood.
She was spitting it out.
So like I think whenever they hurt for me is really hard, because I want to pull that pain from them or that fear that they have inside, and I have to understand like they have to go through these things to push through. So I think those are the toughest times for me.
See, those aren't tough for me. Like if you recall, every single one of those times. Maybe except the last time when Tula busted her lip. Only because it's a pandemic. That's why I freaked out.
No, and you thought
But-
she needed stitches.
Yes, but like I've held it together when they get hurt. Because I think on a normal basis, I'm already emotionally
Like, I don't freak out or fuck up, but in here...
No. But even that, like, that doesn't scare me. Like, I know that if I'm calm, they're going to be calm, and whatever's happening, we're going to figure it out. You know what I mean? And so, like, normally, on a normal basis, regular shit freaks me out, and I'm always like, blah. But, like, when it came down to my kids being hurt, like, I'm all up. Like, I'm on a different, like, mind. The time that I came over here after Tula got ran over, I calmly told your mom that her grandkid got run over and I needed her to be calm because I was calm. I had to hold my shit together for everybody that day. And I figured out how to do that. So I'm very proud of those moments, even though it's unfortunate because my kids are hurt. But
wait till they're teenagers and they get... And they...
I want to kill myself or I hate you.
I've done I hate you.
But not to kill myself.
So funny story the other day. Right now, because you haven't said what's the toughest time.
I'm thinking.
Tula's hanging out. We're chilling on the bed. She woke up early in the morning. And Cash is like jumped in the middle between me and Cindy. And I go over to Cash and I'm like, oh, my favorite baby, my favorite daughter. And I look up and Tula's just like this.
Like legit straight face, just middle finger, straight face at her dad. We were dying. We just went blah. We were dying.
All right.
We're like brownie points.
That one goes. I'll let it go.
You get it.
It made me laugh so much because it was perfect timing for it. Come on.
Okay. The toughest times for me is when I'm feeling hella broken and I still have to parent. Those are tough.
Why?
Because I have to heal myself at the same time of raising children. How difficult.
I'll allow it. Yeah, that's
it was
tough.
that. Yeah, those are the hardest parts. So that's not tough. Like occasional. It's occasional, but it happens. It's gonna happen throughout their entire life because I'm growing all the time.
I think I always get the question of like, I live with nothing but women. Both of our cats are women, are female. Cassius is female. My mom, the two girls, Cindy. And that thought process goes into it. Like, when the girls are teenagers, and let alone sometimes both of them just fucking go at it. You know? When it becomes that 16-year-old and you, like, yeah. Like, maybe that's going to be one of the hardest moments as a parent. It's going to be tough.
Styles are leading with me.
With that moment?
Yeah, it's true. It's so hard. So hard to put your shit away.
I live with Dick, so I feel you ain't doing. You're on the opposite end.
They don't give a shit. She could be hurting and they're still like, Mom, where's breakfast?
Well, the girls are like that too, though.
No, but eventually they're going to be like, dude, Mom's on her rag. Let's go make breakfast. That's the truth.
And it's coming sooner than later. That's another fucking crazy thing about being a parent. Like the videos that came up today of you and the girls at the beach.
The girls at the beach.
Like
they were so
tiny. A fucking
tiny.
10-year-old. She's gonna be driving in 6 or 5 years. Izzy.
Oh, she's gonna. I'm still not gonna try to grow my hair out because she'll make me pull it out. Like.
So yeah.
Ooh.
So that's where we're at. We're ending this before we get counted down. Cool. You guys enjoy it, share it.
I cried. I don't want to cry.
What's going on?
Thanks for bonding with me, guys, and all the positivity. I tried to read everything. I do go back and I read every comment. You guys mean everything to me. I love you.
Take a picture right now. Ready?
Really?
Yeah, screen capture. We always do the screen capture, right?
I'll do
3, 2, 1.
Like what kind?
All right. Let us know what you guys think. Yeah, that's it. That's we're done. Let us know what you guys think.
About what?
Just of like the stream.
Oh.
Remember, it's Frijol Friday. Read. Don't fucking drink bleach.
Oh my God.
Please don't.
I don't want to get into
When
that.
everybody's posting, all right, don't drink it. It's not good for you. It's something you brought up this morning. Like we lock up the cabinets
For our children.
for our children. So don't fucking do it. Okay,
I can't believe as an adult you need to be reminded about that.
And
shit.
today it came out that it was sarcasm.
Chale.
Anyways, stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear your masks. Stay safe.
I don't have anything to say.
Drive fast with your eyes closed. Because safety's for second place. And I'm not just stoned when I say that. I say that all the time.
Peace.
Bye, guys. Yeah, I don't get the bleach thing either.
Bye, guys.